Right, you lot, gather round, grab your popcorn and brace yourselves for another rant from Uncle Scotty. Today we're diving headfirst into the latest topic. The Phantoms need a nerf in XDefiant. Yeah, that's right, we're tackling big questions that keep you up at night, tossing and turning in your gamer beds. So I stumbled on this YouTube video other day. Don't ask how, it were a dark rabbit hole of recommendations. Titled, The Phantoms Need a Nerf in XDefiant. Is 120 HP too powerful? Creator had some, let's call them, interesting ideas for nerfing Phantoms. And oh boy, the comments section. I swear it were like watching a car crash in slow motion. Everyone and the nan were chiming in. Nerf Phantoms. 120 HP is too much. Wah, wah, wah. To all those bloody whiners out there, I say this. If we're nerfing Phantoms, then let's go full bloody Monty. Let's nerf GS Commando by removing their helmets and making them run around like headless chickens. And while we're at it, how about strip libertads of their ability to passively heal teammates? Oh, and don't forget about Sam Fisher's 5.7 pistol. One shot and you're out? Hell no. Let's turn it into a pea shooter. Better yet, why not just remove abilities altogether, eh? Make everyone run around with sticks and stones. Why is it that minute something poses a little bit of a challenge, knee-jerk reaction is to nerf it into oblivion? What happened to facing challenge head-on, to overcoming it and improving your damn skills? Well, it's fun in playing a game that hands you victories on a silver platter. Can't call yourself a gamer if you're afraid to face challenge. You know, back in my day, yeah, I'm pulling that card. We didn't cry for nerfs every time we hit a roadblock. We smashed through it, learned from it, and came out other side better for it. But no, nowadays it's about easy win. Quick dopamine hit. Pathetic. I came across more of these brilliant ideas about how to fix XDefiant. Seems like every time someone gets the backside handed to them, the first instinct is to yell for nerf bat. Why, oh why, does every loss have to be met with demands for balance changes? Is it that fragile a snowflake's ego can't handle a little heat? Here's a thought. Maybe, just maybe, instead of crying for nerfs, we could use a bit of good old-fashioned grit and determination. But I know, that's a foreign concept in today's instant gratification world. Why put in effort when you can just scream at developers to fix it for you? Let's get real for a second. Beauty of games like XDefiant is the challenge. It's what separates wheat from chaff, the skill from simply lucky. You know what's a real kick in teeth? Watching people call for nerfs on Phantoms because they've had their feelings hurt. Not game's fault you can't handle heat. Maybe it's time you get out of the kitchen, mate. Now here's a radical idea. How about instead of nerfing every single thing that makes game even remotely difficult, we start focusing on improving ourselves? Remember when games used to be about personal growth? Remember when it were an achievement to get good at something? Yeah, it's a concept that seems to have gone way at dodo. And before someone jumps in with, but Scotty Phantoms are OP, let's not pretend we're balancing a table with one leg shorter than others. Games need diversity in the balance. They need those tricky, challenging elements to keep things interesting. Otherwise, it's just a glorified slot machine with no payout. So let's address real beast behind Nerf Nation. The delusional dreamers and their balanced fantasies. Picture this. You're playing XDefiant, having a grand old time, and suddenly, BAM! Someone starts whining about outgaming fair because their precious meta isn't working out. Oh, the horror! You'd think we'd ask for a refund on reality itself. Now these folks have one thing in common. They want everything to be balanced. But let's be real here, balancing games is like trying to nail jelly to a wall. Here's a bit of wisdom for all you armchair game designers out there. Balance is a myth. It's an impossible dream that everyone seems to chase while missing the fact that games are dynamic and ever-changing. What's OP today might just be a paperweight tomorrow. Just look at history of games. How many times has best strategy shifted? It's all part of fun, folks. Now let's get philosophical for a second. If games were truly balanced to everyone's satisfaction, where's excitement? Where's unpredictability? Balance isn't about making every single element equal. It's about creating a dynamic environment where players can adapt, strategize and overcome challenges in innovative ways. If everything were perfectly balanced, we'd be playing a glorified spreadsheet rather than a game. And don't even get me started on people who argue that balance means removing everything that's fun or unique. What's next? Are we going to have a bland, homogenized gaming experience where everyone is same and every match plays out like boring loop of deja vu? Hell no. We need those quirks, those moments of unpredictability to keep things fresh. And moving on, let's talk about real-world side of game balancing, specifically how absolutely bonkers some of these demands can get. I've seen it all, folks. Fix this, nerf that, buff this. It's like gamers have turned into entitled toddlers throwing tantrums in a candy aisle. Let's take a step back and consider what game developers are actually up against. First off, developers don't have magic wand. They don't sit in their ivory towers with a bunch of levers and dials to fine-tune every aspect of the game on a whim. No, they're dealing with a tangled mess of code, algorithms, and heap of player feedback that ranges from sensible to completely off the wall. Balancing a game is like trying to juggle flaming swords while riding a unicycle blindfolded. It's a delicate art, it takes time. And let's not forget the ever-changing ripple effects. They nerf one thing and suddenly you've broken another part of the game. It's like trying to fix a leaky boat with duct tape. You might stop the leak, but now all things starting to sink. Developers are constantly walking this tightrope of balancing player satisfaction with game integrity. It's not just a matter of pressing a button and making everyone happy. And here's kicker. When gamers demand instant fixes, they're ignoring the fact that game development is a marathon, not a sprint. It's a process of iteration and refinement. Developers need time to test, evaluate, and implement changes in a way that don't break game or ruin experience for everyone. Now, I've been seeing a lot of chatter about how certain game mechanics or features are unfair or overpowered. And you know what? It's time to pull back curtain and expose truth. The notion that every single part of a game needs to be balanced to perfection is not just flawed, it's downright delusional. You see, a lot of gamers are under this grand illusion that game balance means every player should have the exact same experience and exact same chances of winning. Newsflash, that's not how it works. Balance don't mean equality in the way that you think. It's about creating a dynamic environment where skill, strategy and adaptation come into play. It's not about turning every match into a predictable cookie-cutter affair. Think about it. What's the point in playing if you know exactly how everything will unfold? Where's the challenge? Thrill of unknown. Imagine a game where every class, every weapon, every ability is perfectly balanced. Sounds like a dream, right? Wrong. It'd be the most boring, monotonous grind imaginable. The unpredictability is what makes games exciting, not sterile sameness that some players seem to crave. And here's another thing. Every time there's a complaint about balance, it's usually coming from a place of frustration. Frustration because someone got their ass handed to them or didn't quite manage to pull off their grand strategy. But instead of facing that frustration head on and learning from it, knee-jerk reaction is to call for changes that will make things easier. It's like trying to make life easier by asking for fewer challenges. Spoiler alert. That's not how you grow, and it's certainly not how you become a better player. So you've been playing XDefiant for a few weeks, you've gotten to know every nook and cranny at maps, and you've got your strategies down to a fine art. Then out of nowhere, developers drop an update. Now I know what you're thinking. Hallelujah, finally they've fixed that broken mechanic. But wait, suddenly, chaos ensues. Everything you knew is out window, and what was once a balanced game now feels like a circus on roller skates. It's brutal truth, folks. Game updates are a double-edged sword. They're not always going to be a magical fix that everyone's hoping for. In fact, updates often create new problems while trying to solve old ones. Let's talk about game design for a moment. Developers aren't just twiddling their thumbs and pulling random ideas out of a hat. They're making changes based on a complex array of data, player feedback, statistical analysis, and yeah, sometimes even a bit of gut feeling. But this is where magic of balancing act comes in. They make adjustments based on data they have, which means that some changes might not hit mark perfectly. Here's a pro tip, no update is going to be perfect. Expecting every patch to fix every issue and make everything shiny and new is setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead of waiting for a flawless update, adapt at changes. And remember that game balance is a moving target. Developers are constantly tweaking and adjusting, so it's a process, not an instant miracle. So next time you find yourself grumbling about game update, take a deep breath. Understand that it's part of ongoing process of evolution and refinement. It's not about making everything perfect overnight. It's about gradually improving game and responding to player feedback. Sometimes you have to weather the storm to see sunshine on the other side. Right, smash that like button, hit subscribe and leave a comment below with your thoughts and gaming stories. I might just feature them on the channel, and I'll see you next time, you magnificent.